Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and I'm your fellow movie enthusiast, Nicholas Montez. Alright, so today it is May, and that means, we've already covered the 30s movies, the 40s movies, and now we're covering the 1950s movies. Now, before I get into this list, let me start off by saying, while there are selected movies that I did choose to make this list, there are not really any movies in this list that I would consider some of my favorite movies of all time. I would consider that maybe for 1930s just a little bit, or for 1940s a lot. But for 1950s, it's only just great movies, but nothing in particular that I always end up going back to. Maybe my number one spot will, but everything else, not as much. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started talking about my top 10 favorite 1950s movies. Alright, entering our top 10 is 12 Angry Men. Now, I would say this is a pretty awesome movie, as it basically is this court case where it takes place in this one room with these 12 men talking about a court case, trying to figure stuff out, and learning about things in the process, and it's all just really great, and the script is really unique, the characters are interesting, and overall the acting is good, and it's overall just a good movie. And yeah, it's at number 10.
All alone, running wild.
Alright, coming from number 9 is Some Like It Hot. So this was a film that I actually remember seeing a lot, or like a few clips from it on the Great Movie Ride at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World when it was still around. And I remember like, what is Some Like It Hot again? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's the one where the guy's like, I'm a man. And yeah, the movie is actually pretty iconic. It's pretty funny. I like that it kind of like stars Marilyn Monroe in this kind of movie where you have two men pretending that they're women and they kind of find the hots for her. And so I thought, and especially it fits because Marilyn Monroe was a big actress of the 50s, so I think it fits really well. But yeah, it's funny, it's charismatic, it's charming. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it was still a really good movie. I just happen to like other movies more than this, but still a really funny and cute movie. Alright, number 8 is High Noon. I think that of one of the few early westerns that came out in the 1950s or something like that, this movie was honestly really good. I think the lead performance was really great. I thought the story was really good. Few of the action scenes that we got in here, pretty cool too. So yeah, pretty good movie. Number 7, I have On the Waterfront, which kind of gives us an early look at Marlon Brando as an actor, but also, as in Martin Scorsese portrayed it in the CNN Movies documentary, he portrayed it as a film that kind of explored what his life was back in the day. And honestly, I thought this film was pretty excellent. It was a pretty well-told story. Marlon Brando's performance is pretty great. And, seeing his interactions with everybody is really cool. And, just the whole story was good. And I also happen to really like the score. It sounded very modern for the time being. So I really liked of what they did with On the Waterfront. 6, I have Animal Farm, and this is actually kind of interesting because as I was currently talking about this movie, this past third quarter of my senior year of high school in my English class, I was actually reading the story of Animal Farm in my class, and I actually did a PowerPoint project on it. And I gotta say, I actually really liked the story of Animal Farm. I will say, and I like that it kind of related a lot to, the whole stuff that was going on with the Russian government and World War II and, the Cold War and everything, and how it related so much to all of that. But what I also really appreciated was the fact that they were able to tell a children's story while at the same time relating so much to real life. And the fact that it's not basically relating to it, that's actually what it is. The whole story is relating to what Stalin did, to what all these other people did. And at the same time, it actually built a pretty clever story that's built for children, but at the same time, it's also pretty brutal because it's much more mature than any other Disney movie. Don't expect this movie to be another cartoon Disney animated movie, because that's not what this really is. So, as this movie does not have a happy ending. Now, if you go watch the new Animal Farm movie that just came out just a few weeks ago, I think that movie might have a happy ending, but I don't really know. Overall, it's an absolute classic, and honestly, it's probably the best animated film of the 1950s. Maybe. I probably still like Sleeping Beauty more, but it's still great. At number 5, I have Sunset Boulevard. So I probably wouldn't have included this movie if I were to do this list maybe last year. Because I remember seeing this movie last year, but I don't remember loving it like the way I do now. But honestly, this movie I think after rewatching it this last March or February, I honestly really put some full respect on it now. If you don't know, it's basically about this actress who used to be in silent films, and basically it explores how would the effect of talking pictures affect someone that was in silent pictures, and what kind of stuff would that take on that person. And the performance of this woman is just unique, and that she's really into that the pictures got small. She's always been big, and it really does a fascinating job, but at the same time you also discover why she went crazy. Because of this mindset she created, it made her crazy. So it's a brilliant performance. I love it. Alright, now we have The Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of my favorite alien invasion films, or body snatcher type movies, where you basically have an alien pretending to be a human. And it's a lot of greatness. I think, in the way everything happens, it feels, the way that these movies were told back then, I would say, this was the closest that they could ever do to science fiction. And because every other movie when it came to black and white movies always felt kind of normal, and that was based in reality. And so all the fantastical stuff you could never really do as well, because either you needed special effects or you needed color and all that stuff to make it pop. And this was, it was black and white, but it actually worked with the story they were telling. Having this alien guy kind of be, hanging out with this kid and everything, and, fighting army men. I mean, obviously there's no fight scenes in here, but it's a really compelling story. It's good acting. So overall, it's really great.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Alright, so now we have one of my favorite films of the monster genre, Godzilla 1954. I personally just love this movie. I remember when I saw Godzilla Minus One, and I was really blown away by that. And I was like, wait, Godzilla has a very long lineup of movies. I need to go watch that. And so basically, I went to go. One of the first films I watched in winter of 2024 was Godzilla 1954, and I just absolutely loved it. I thought that the original story of Godzilla and the way it actually happened and planned out, if you really think about it, Godzilla Minus One is basically Godzilla 1954, but just told in modern day, because it's like after the Korean War and everything. But in this movie, they're dealing with like atomic bombs and stuff, and trying to kill a Godzilla and everything. But they're trying to figure out that there's this monster eating people, and they don't really know what it is. So they're trying to get the people scared. So it's all very dynamic, very cool. So I really like this movie. Alright, so now we're talking about The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think that this is truly one of the best Universal monster movies ever made. And I think the reason why is because it kind of gives like this earlier version of what Jaws would be like, except without all the Steven Spielberg kind of effects. But having this creature from the deep coming in and trying to eat people is cool and horrifying. And having the suit be practical and everything is really cool. So I overall just really dug this movie. And yeah, it's a classic for me of the 1950s. Alright, and coming from your number one, I have Singin' in the Rain. And I think of all the movies that kind of uncover the transition from silent films to talkies, Singin' in the Rain is truly the film that did all of this. Where it's fun, it's colorful, it's a great musical, but at the same time, it also does explore the origins of movies, how people transition from silent to talkies, and you can see how it worked for some people. It definitely did not work for some people when you have to talk or sing, and it is kind of messed up at times, but at the same time it turns into this kind of romantic story. Overall, the movie just works on so many levels for me, and honestly, yeah, it is my favorite film of the 1950s. So yeah, I absolutely loved Singin' in the Rain.